Hi folks, I'm Judd. I'm a professional astrologer with over 35 years consultative experience to my name. These are my astrological forecasts for the year 2015 for each sign of the zodiac. Enjoy. And this is the astrological forecast for the sign of Aquarius for the whole of 2015. It has to be said, folks, that comparatively speaking, you're one of the more fortunate signs in 2015 in that the majority of you aren't going to be going through any life-changing circumstances. There's no sign of major, big, new challenges coming in that's going to add further disruption or chaos or uncertainty. There's no sense of large-scale challenge or change on the horizon over this year for the vast majority of you. A few of you will still be feeling the effects of recent years, but that's predominantly those of you born towards the end of your sign. And it's not really going to be one of those years that you'll remember for the long-term future. You're fortunate to an extent in that Pluto is in the next door sign behind you, whilst Neptune is in the next door sign ahead of you. So neither of the outer planets that affect the more unconscious and subconscious and transpersonal side of one's life are directly affecting you. There's no psychological major challenges coming in, and neither is there any sign of further or any new type of uncertainty or confusion at what I would consider a big league level. Indeed, Uranus, the change bringer, the planet that's most commonly associated with Aquarius, is definitely smiling on some of you big time. And this is primarily happening to those of you born over the period of February the 5th to February the 8th, maybe February the 9th. Certainly these people are receiving a great deal more stimulus in terms of opportunity for either enhancement of current situations or innovation and novelty and stimulus in new situations. Uranus is being friendly to almost all of you. Because of this, there is no sign of disruption or chaos. Saturn's kind of working well with you most of the time. Saturn's going to be spending most of the year in a complementary sign to you, and is certainly going to be bringing a great deal more perhaps steadiness and consistency and stability and regularity. The opportunity for more, well, consistency is the right word, especially into those of you born at the start of Aquarius, by which I mean those of you born around January 20 to 24, maybe 25, you're going to find that this coming year, much of this year, is a time of steady, gradual plodding, but long-term stability as a result. Saturn, however, will be affecting a few of you born at the end of Aquarius in challenging ways. The times of late November and early December 2014 served as a kind of shot across the bows. And for some of you, especially those of you born around February 16th onwards, you're likely to find that the months of June, July of this coming year do hold in them further examinations and tests of value and worth. So it's going to be quite a challenging year, at least in the first 6 to 8 months for those of you born at the end of Aquarius, but only challenging in terms of what you can see in your face. There's no new problems here. Jupiter's actually going to spend part of the year dancing very favourably indeed with some of you. Those of you born around the 2nd, 3rd of February onwards, well, you should find that despite a lot of the hype and spin of recent months towards the end of 2014, you should find that the more you get into April and especially May, June and July 2015, that the second quarter or maybe months 5, 6 and 7 of 2015 hold in them the potential for significant growth and development, especially when it comes to working with others at the one-to-one level. Relationship patterns for many of you do look good in the middle third of the year. The latter part of the year tends to quieten down a bit more, and you do fade back more into the background. There's no sign of major influence from September onwards that's in any way challenging or difficult. In the background, Uranus sextiling Aquarius is the single biggest positive aspect of the coming year, and it's difficult to find a really difficult one except for Jupiter over amplifying and over exaggerating things in the first quarter of the year. As long as you don't go over the top and overreach yourself, by the time you're into August, September of this year, you should be finding yourself in a situation of more ability to be able to plan futures, to be able to sort of clearly communicate and structure plans for the next few years in a way that's not been like this for a long time, and there's every indication of this coming. This is one of those years that's going to go down as a quiet year. And if I were to summarise 2015 for you, Aquarius, I really think I'd be saying to you, have a relatively quiet and stable year. There you go, folks. I hope that was helpful and informative. I believe astrology should be free. I think that if astrology was taught in schools, we'd see an end to warfare within 2 generations. And in that context, I want to put as much astrology free into the world as I can. But it does cost. Your donations, month in, month out, the £1, the £5, the £10 a month that you send me, really help me keep this going. Thank you. Keep them coming. And look what I've got. And there's a new one on Mercury coming out later this year. So if you want to get these or find out about all my gigs travelling around the world this coming year lecturing on astrology, email me, steve@stevejudd.com. See you next year. Bye.